This is Brian, ScreenFiles.com and review. What I'm looking at today is It, the movie based on a Stephen King best-selling horror novel. For a start, it was originally aired on television as a miniseries in 1990, starring Tim Curry as Pennywise the Clown. In the movie, he's played by Bill Skarsgård, and it's a good movie. It looks good, it's well produced, but I guess it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a balls-to-the-wall horror movie, and when I say horror movie, I'm not talking exclusively about gore. There's a place for that, but when I say it, I mean suspense and tension and things of that nature. This movie doesn't really fit the bill. As I said, it's a good movie, it's well done, it's attractive, but it's not a great horror movie, for reasons I'll get into in a moment. Though what's probably on a lot of people's minds is the new Pennywise. Bill Skarsgård brings an interesting portrayal of the character to the screen, but for my money, Tim Curry, hands down, is the better Pennywise. And for one particular reason, Tim Curry didn't try to be scary. I don't know if this was because of the producer or the actor, but they knew that clowns are intrinsically creepy looking. On their best day, they look creepy looking. And they played with that a little more. Pennywise in the 1990s miniseries did not look particularly scary. And that's what made him so creepy, ironically enough. It's that he didn't try to look scary. He would just say things, and there was a note of the sinister about the character. A note of something off, but it wasn't overdone. He didn't try to look scary. He just did. This version tries to look a little too creepy at times, and it comes off forced. As I said, it's a good movie, and Bill Skarsgård's interpretation is not a bad one, but it doesn't hold a candle to Tim Curry's. Even with the more modern special effects and so on, Tim Curry just did it so much better. It's also surprising that Pennywise is actually not in the movie all that much. If he turns up, I say a half hour combined appearance time, I'd be kind of surprised. But what I think does this movie a disservice most of all is the music. A lot of movies will use music to accent a scene, but sometimes they use music to tell you what to feel, and I don't like that. By way of illustration, a movie that did it right was The Babadook, and The Babadook didn't forecast what was going on musically. It kind of let events just unfold. At least I recall it being that way. And so it was more effective. This movie broadcasts everything that's going to happen based on music cues. It's a really sloppy way to do things. Well, that's not really fair. It's not necessarily sloppy, more so than obvious. It doesn't allow the movie to build up tension because the music's going to start blaring and you know what's going to happen, or at least something is going to happen. So that was a little off-putting, frankly. It wasn't the music was bad, it was just overdone. There needed to be more moments of silence and let things build gradually. But that didn't happen. And that's a pity. It makes the movie a lot less effective than it could have been. Another thing is that the movie at times seemed oddly rushed. For example, there's a scene where one of the losers, this is a group of friends, and they call themselves the losers, they're in the library. One of them is in the library, I should say. And they're looking through a book. And the book is a history of Derry, which is the town where all this weirdness is happening. And the camera does not tell you, it barely shows the cover of that book. And that book is important because for the next, I want to say 5 or 6 minutes, that book is featured. It would have been really nice to have actually seen the cover of the book. And I don't mean what was in the movie, which essentially was just a quick cut. I think the cover of the book was at an angle, so it wasn't easy to read, and it was on screen no more than 2 or 3 seconds, maybe 5 at the most. So it was just odd. That book should have been highlighted more. There are a few other little scenes like that, which makes me think that the director, Andy Muschietti, either didn't think it was important, which is possible, or he just missed. He didn't catch that scene when they were actually filming and didn't think to go back and add it. It would have literally taken a minute to film, but it would have been so much more effective in setting up that scene. So, all in all, it is a pretty good time at the movies. It's not great. It's barely scary, frankly. It's a good coming-of-age tale with these young people and this being that feeds on fear that's beyond their comprehension. With a shout out to Finn Wolfhard, who's just hilarious. He plays this, I don't recall his name off the top of my head, but the guy's always cracking wise and being a smartass, and he plays the role really well. And there's another character who's a bit of a hypochondriac for reasons that are further explained in the movie. He also does well. In fact, everyone does well with the roles. There's not a weak actor in the bunch, but I guess the filmmaker, Andy Muschietti, should have trusted the material a little bit more than he did. Let the scenes breathe. Don't cut quite so quick. And that's editing, but still, don't cut quite so quick. Cut some of the music. There was way too much dramatic music that was just telegraphing scenes before they happened. That should have been cut down quite a bit. This movie should have been without music, but it should have had significantly less of it. It would have made for a much tauter, more tension-filled experience. But on the whole, it's good. It's doing really well at the box office. It's impressed a lot of people. I am not impressed by it. It's a good watch. It's worth seeing. But if you're a real horror fan, you'll probably enjoy it, but it's not that great, frankly. It's good. That's about it. A lukewarm good at best. This is Brian with Review. Peace.